2025's overdue and under-advertised mafia movie, The Alto Knights, starring Robert De Niro and, Robert De Niro as rival gangsters Frank Costello
Paid my tax. I paid my tax.
and Vito Genovese, respectively.
Respectfully decline to answer.
On the grounds that my answer may tend to incriminate. They ain't against it.
Or Vito Genovese and Frank Costello, respectively. You see what Anyway. Directed by Barry Levinson, who's directed many a classic.
We're gonna drive to Los Angeles, all right?
And been more involved in the mob genre than you might realize.
When you're a jet, you're a jet.
Sit down there. I walked out on you.
When they were supposed to shoot the movie, the Gotti movie, they screwed up.
Screenplay by Nicholas Pileggi, responsible for two of the greatest in this genre.
We always called each other good fellas.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometimes.
Hey, you're pissing me off.
How does Alto Knights measure up? Okay, fine, at this point we know it's a flop.
The film on a whole didn't work.
It's not okay.
But the backstory of this box office flop in an era of podcasts and cinematic uncertainty is what we're here to discuss.
Art sucks now.
When do you plan on going the Joe Rogan podcast?
Welcome to MobFlix Friday.
Movie Tuesdays, mob movie Wednesdays, mob movie Mondays.
The hottest show the algorithm may never show you. So for me, going into this movie, it was just under-marketed. The movie was poorly conceptualized in the first place. Too many good stories that were thrown together for an underwhelming final product.
This one's for you, Frank.
He's marrying himself.
I paid my tax.
Who's to say one of your own won't come after you?
Gambino was made the new boss of Albert's family. Vito left Vincent in charge. The Alto Knights.
On top of that, the title itself, Alto Knights. It just sounds naff. Oh, it was actually a place where De Niro used to hang out in. That says it all in the first place. If anything, it should have been called the Triangle Club, because that was the Genovese crime family's social club in Greenwich Village, which is actually where this movie is in part set.
You know, you gave me downtown on the west side. That's good.
West Side's the village.
So already the narrative being all over the place and the stupid name is an issue to one side. This film in and of itself is just a wannabe Irishman.
I get Castro out of Cuba, so our guys
Managed to put together a multi-billion-dollar national syndicate.
De Niro doing another last old man mafia movie.
That's it.
Frank the Irishman Sheeran is a guy we've never heard of. But when you say Frank Costello, Vito Genovese, these are brand household mafia names for anyone who's roughly interested in this genre. De Niro showed the odd shades of greatness here and there within the film. But again, when the film is thrown together, last minute thing, 3 hours of movie stuck into 2 hours, doesn't matter, it just doesn't work. Everyone was complaining about, oh, why have they got De Niro playing two different characters? For me, that wasn't as bad as the look itself was off. His look was off with these prosthetics. The Irishman was one thing with the CGI, but here, he just looks even more fucked than he does in real life at this age.
You look great. I don't know if it's the Italian skin.
I'm 80, been here for 100 years.
Genovese looks like Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit. Big up those old enough to even remember that, right? Sprinkled with the prosthetic mask from Dick Tracy. Big up those old enough to remember that film when it came out at the cinema. I mean, the gimmick of having one actor playing more than one character is something again from '89, Back to the Future 2. Personally, I like Double Impact with two Jean-Claude Van Dammes.
my brother.
Side note here for the stupid Cockney guy with the ponytail in the middle of LA.
Hey, dude, son, you alright?
First of all, what the fuck is Sid from King's Cross doing in Santa Monica, yeah?
What are you, the ballet teacher or what?
Can you show me one of your special kicks? Yeah, you want to see one of my kicks?
Yeah, can you show me one of your special kicks?
You want to see one of my kicks?
Yeah.
But anyway, that aside, my point is the gimmick of one actor playing different characters, we've had that from years ago.
Mr. Perfection.
That's okay. Come on,
Costello looked older than old.
They figured it out pretty soon.
And on the note of old, it seems like everyone in this movie is old. Everyone associated with the production of this film just seems like they should have called it a day 5-10 years ago.
More production thing.
I think it's very admirable that you made a connection, but I think the purpose of this meeting...
You have to find a way to...
Pileggi, Barry Levinson, what was his name? Erwin Winkler, they're all old. Even if you're pulling one last favor, you should have pulled that last favor to get one last mob movie made like 8 years ago.
That's my shortcoming, I don't know.
Everyone should have been retired at this stage.
I'm 80.
Much less the point that the film itself over-edited, chopped down, messed up. No confidence in what you want to do, but you just want to do one last hurrah because Barry Levinson neglected his directing career for years and De Niro, being De Niro, just wants to ever get paid. Here's the thing with Barry Levinson that not everybody might realize. He went from being basically a TV writer in the early 70s to a kind of indie movie style movie director in the early 80s with movies like Diner.
Just eat the sandwich. Then shut up.
Well, look at his eyes.
So all of a sudden, one of the mainstream directors at one point.
And the Oscar goes to Barry Levinson for Rain Man.
I love this town.
Commercially, Rain Man, Good Morning Vietnam, then Disclosure, which wasn't as good but still heavily commercial.
Michael Douglas, Demi Moore, Disclosure.
Then back to being a writer for TV, executive producer for TV, and a bunch of like TV movies for HBO. So he's really been up and down. The thing you might not know about Barry Levinson was he's been more in the mob genre than you might initially give him credit for. He directed Bugsy.
You wouldn't be related to Bugsy Siegel, would you?
Bugsy.
What about the gambling joints and nightclubs?
Vito, I just said it's 50-50.
50-50.
For me, that's a classic. That's the only movie that shows the syndicate in its heyday, as in a consortium of Jewish mobsters and Italian mafiosi together.
We're a private group, not the Charlie Luciano, you know.
I'm a businessman.
What do you want to do about it, Maya, as a businessman?
He'd done Sleepers, which was, again, mob adjacent.
Lucky Luciano did a lot of good for this country during World War II. But you ain't gonna read about that in any fucking history book.
And what the fuck did you do that for? Yeah, we ain't kids now.
Kind of Hell's Kitchen, Irish, some Italian, still kind of in that world, New York, right?
It wasn't until you came in. Why'd you give me a kiss to go with that hello?
What you really might not realize was Donnie Brasco.
You're Don the jeweler.
He wrote the script with Paul Atanasio.
When I started Donnie Brasco, it was the first thing I did with Barry Levinson. His vision of it was, from the beginning, not The Godfather. Guys in coffee shops.
Got better handling.
Scheming and bullshitting. I get these real cheap. So that spoke to Diner and Tin Man and...
Come on, boy. You want to bet me $50 a guy? It's fresh?
Yes, it's fresh.
It has to be another Tin Man.
Hey, they call him BP.
You know the son of a bitch?
He was supposed to direct it. Last minute switched to direct Wag the Dog. Mike Newell from Four Weddings and a Funeral directed it, but you can really feel the kind of the Barry Levinson undertones in Donnie Brasco now when you watch it in hindsight with that knowledge that, oh, he conceptualized it and he stayed on as executive producer. So in terms of Barry Levinson, yeah, he's been in this genre for longer than you might give him credit for.
Hey, goodbye! Kiss me and took us! Fucking Jew prick.
Bugsy, definitive movie on the Jewish mob hooked up with Italian mafia. For me, Bugsy feels like the spiritual successor to the film Mobsters, with Christian Slater as Lucky Luciano.
Frank Costello, Benny Siegel.
That's why we're in partnership with these Jews, Frankie.
Very cheesy and goofy. But still a kind of guilty pleasure type film.
When you hit people on our turf, it upsets the cops.
No.
Alto Knights was, in my mind, supposed to be the natural trilogy progression after Bugsy, showing that generation of gangsters in their older years in the 50s going into the 60s.
You bloody fucking neck!
2 Italians and 2 Jews.
You always protected me, Benny, when we were kids. You were always behind me.
Benny's got to take the rap no matter what.
I agree with Frank.
Can you believe this is a big hit? Here we are, two old guys sitting in a cell.
So again, I didn't know who Barry Levinson was, for example, when I first saw Sleepers.
No one will ever forget.
I've got big memories of that film because I saw it in the cinema with all my friends at a time when people were still going to the cinema.
Sleepers.
But of course I'd heard of a Scorsese. Years later, in my mind, it's always been like, yeah, Levinson is kind of a participant in the mob genre over the years.
I was fascinated by it.
I'm going to get to the main thing in a second, right?
The Gotti movie,
You couldn't sell a $3 fucking DVD.
they screwed up.
In addition to that, he was executive producer for the TV show Falcone, the TV series of Donnie Brasco. He was executive producer on Analyze That, the sequel to Analyze This with De Niro.
You fucking piece of shit!
But that got sidelined because of The Sopranos, right?
I gotta tell you, Doc, I ain't that thrilled with the level of service up to this point.
That was my fault.
Borderline personalities are very good at splitting behavior.
Twisted fucking bitch. We're finished.
Executive producer on Oz, which was the jail TV series.
Don't work you anymore, baby.
Wrong.
So Levinson's kind of the natural candidate
The Alto Knights.
because he's been involved.
Barry Levinson is here.
Alto Knights itself has been an unrealized project for years because they wanted to do a Frank Costello project with James Toback as the writer back in the 70s, and Michael Cimino was going to direct it. But on the subject of unrealized projects, This is the sexy stuff. This is why you tune into MobFlix Friday right now for this. Barry Levinson was set to direct what is now an unrealized project and make a Gotti movie with, you guessed it, none other than John Gotti Jr.
Junior Gotti. This kid is a zero.
I remember the hype in 2011.
Write history accurately.
Don't go in front of my camera.
Gotti Jr., he'd gone through all his trials, so he was free to become a media celebrity in around 2010. 2011, yeah, they're gonna make my film. He became the real-life Little Carmine Lupatazzi, as I've said many times.
Some of you know I've had 9 pictures under my subspecies.
We cash up in New York?
We're gonna make that work, Sir Ben.
Go in front of my camera, please.
Nick Cassavetes was gonna direct it. He dropped off. Then they got Levinson. I was apprehensive from the jump.
John Travolta's going to play your dad, John Gotti. Is Kim Kardashian going to play the...
I'm like, is Barry Levinson actually going to work with
douchebags who never made a film before?
The real-life version of Christopher Moltisanti from The Sopranos?
I have never seen you apply yourself like this.
I love movies.
In the earlier seasons when he wanted to get into film.
John, this is Christopher.
Hey.
Then the last season when he teamed up with Little Carmine Lupatazzi.
I, as an executive producer, my co-EP, Christopher Moltisanti.
I'm just saying, Levinson was going to make the Gotti picture with Junior Gotti when it was supposed to be super epic.
He was a man larger than life.
They were going to have Pesci in it. They were going to have Pacino at one point. They were going to have all these big names on top of Travolta.
Joe Pesci to play Angelo Ruggiero.
And I was like, can Levinson really tolerate John Gotti Jr. pretending to be a movie guy when he's just a Nepo baby mobster wannabe?
Whatever power he had was derivative from his father.
Let's just say, don't worry, Junior. You're going to be executive producer. Now fuck off and let the grown-ups make the picture. But Gotti Jr. more than likely was like, oh, I'm executive producer, not even producer. Well, that means I'm better than you. That means you have to do what I tell you to do. So more than likely, Barry wanted none of that.
I, as an executive producer.
Long story short, Barry Levinson dropped off.
When they were supposed to shoot the movie, the Gotti movie, they screwed up.
Just because you've got to work with a Napoleonic moron.
They didn't have the budget. They misrepresented everything.
In the end, Junior Gotti got his picture made, but it was a totally different thing.
The Gotti movie.
New York is the greatest fucking city in the world.
Which was basically a nightmare.
They didn't have the budget. They misrepresented everything. They half-assed it.
There's a conspiracy against them. What they're paranoid about are exactly the things that they do.
And that was the result.
The point about all of that is, for years, Levinson wanted to do one last mob picture. Hence, by the time of Alto Knights, he's still yearning for one last mob film. Anyway, Alto Knights, he starts doing it under the auspices of, oh, we've got the great Nicholas Pileggi from Goodfellas and Casino. It's going to be a hit. Yeah, but the guy's 8 years short of 100. Pileggi's 92, but he still thinks he's got loads of mob projects left in him. Hence, he's going around pollinating all these different people like Sammy Gravano on YouTube saying, oh, we're definitely going to make your movie and it's going to be awesome.
That's why Nick Pileggi said there's nobody who's going to tell the history of the mafia but Sammy.
That's where we're at now.
He's 92 years old. He's done all the big mafia movies.
Presumably, he needs the money for his grandkids' inheritance. Still trying to do projects, pollinating people like Sammy Gravano.
I can't wait for the movie to be made.
This movie comes out as a flop and Gravano's like, yeah, Alto Knights came out, but it sucks because De Niro's a woke asshole.
Robert De Niro, he makes an ass out of himself. Vote for Trump and you'll get the nightmare. He hurt the movie. He was just in.
But my movie's gonna be amazing.
My team, Nick Pileggi.
Then I'm gonna be a race driver.
It was on my bucket list to drive a race car. I will be approved as a race car driver.
1 minute you're gonna make a movie, then you're gonna be a super podcaster. Now you think you're Cole Trickle.
Who the hell is Cole Trickle?
It's Cole Trickle taking the win!
Tom Cruise, Days of Thunder.
Hey guys, how could you ignore me like that? I wasn't ignoring you.
Big up those who know who I'm talking about. Long story short, Pileggi has been for years on the sidelines of the industry, making shitty mob films, but thinking he's gonna do one more grand mob movie. Like, as he's making Alto Knights, he's bullshitting Gravano saying, we're gonna make your film, you're a genius, it's gonna be incredible.
Nick Pileggi, and I gave it to him.
Gravano knows nothing.
Chicago was a tough family.
They weren't a pimple on the New York's ass.
The Chicago outfit is the strongest mafia family operating in Las Vegas.
History, we're talking historically.
They weren't a pimple on the New York's ass.
Tommy guns started in Chicago in the 20s.
I think Frankie Yale is the guy who chased Al Capone out of New York.
The first Tommy gun murder in New York City was Brooklyn boss Frankie Yale, killed by Al Capone's men.
Fuck Capone.
Where the genre is right now, it's all over the place. It's old people telling old people lies that they want to hear.
That's why Nick Pileggi said there's nobody who's going to tell the history of the mafia but Sam.
Goodfellas came out in 90. That was a long, long time ago. And at that point, we hadn't done the mafia movie with endless voiceover narration.
Tommy had killed a made guy. That was part of the Gambino crew and was considered untouchable.
Gambino was made the new boss of Albert's family. This is a nice smell better. They figured it out pretty soon.
It worked perfectly. Greatest movie of all time with Goodfellas. They compensate Alto Knights being all over the place with a million voiceovers from Bobby D.
Yeah, I'm glad I went. It was not.
Shut the fuck up!
Pileggi himself, bruv, he's a journalist. He's not necessarily a movie producer. He's a journalist who was this gritty New York journalist in the 70s.
The Americanization of the mafia is a contradiction in terms.
By the time of Alto Knights, Pileggi has had to poach Anthony DeStefano's work on both Frank Costello and Vito Genovese.
More vicious than Costello.
Pileggi never wrote a book on those two guys. In terms of the mob genre in 2025,
I'll fuck your mother in her ass. How about that, you fat
You won't.
motherfucker?
No, you won't.
it's become MobTube and it's become more internet-based than movie-based for years now, and I'm talking years.
Bring John Gotti Jr. on. You ask me what I do in a bedroom. What does that have to do? What kind of man are you? But if you want to know, I still tell you I'll take you in the bedroom with me.
The odd streaming series. But aside from that, it's just egomaniacs on YouTube beefing.
Dreamler, you're a jerk off. You're a clown. You're on YouTube. The beefing so big right now on the internet.
Gene Barella, you keep on saying you're going to come. Listen to me. I want you to come.
I want you to pick it up.
The fact they managed to pull off that film in 2025 is something.
We're living in the future.
Say that again.
We're living in the future.
YouTube is the new TV.
In 2025, it's just old people pulling off one last favor miraculously.
So we're just working on a script right now.
Or it's just online content and quote-unquote broy podcasts.
Donald Trump was helped to power by broy podcasters.
Okay, very interesting. I'm like,
Wow.
Did you hear what I just said?
I'll fuck your mother in her ass. How about that?
Yes, Daddy.
What would you take that to mean?
Like broy podcast.
You can get the fuck off the show.
Broy podcasters.
He totally do. I fuck your mother in the ass.
YouTube is the new TV.
However many mob guys on MobTube saying they're making my movie.
NBC offered me $1.6 million.
And in the end, they made fucking Alto Knights. Like, they're not making Gravano's movie. It's not going to be the best movie of all time.
I can't wait for the movie to be made.
They're not making Gene Barello's web series with Shia LaBeouf, which is going to be as good as The Sopranos.
I'm about to sign a huge deal for a TV show that I'm going to make millions of dollars.
For me, I want the Shia LaBeouf.
The argument that, Alto Knights is better than The Godfather because it's the real characters, that argument's been going on forever.
It's based on real mobsters who inspired The Godfather.
Gravano's still trying to use that argument to get his movie made, basically because he's tired of being on YouTube because YouTube is a graft.
I'm tired of it.
That's what you need to do is have a studio.
That shit is dead.
Gene is not dead. Listen to him.
Henry Hill had a touch with Pileggi. All he had to do is sit down, do an interview. Pileggi wrote the book, the rest was history.
And now it's all over.
Well,
These current guys, they got to grind with live streams.
My picture, my name, and then they get views.
I get so many views.
All of these guys.
My story.
Then Barry Levinson.
you think he can play both roles?
I see the Alto Knights.
We're going to talk about the era.
They're living in an era
I'll fuck your mother in her ass.
where we're living in the future.
The death of cinema altogether?
The need for politics to be entertainment.
If you strawman me and argue that I'm making arguments that I didn't make, I'm going to interrupt you.
First. I also have a tampon. In case you need a tampon.
Broy podcasters.
Like, hey, DM,
I'll just say this. This is how much I couldn't believe they made Alto Knights Now, directed by Barry Levinson. In 92, when Levinson done Bugsy, I remember looking at Empire Film Magazine, seeing an article on Bugsy, and seeing an article on Until the End of the World, which was one of those movies that were came out in 92 but set in 1999.
In the future.
Forecasting all these handheld devices that everyone will be looking at in this dystopian future. 33, however many years later, they make a movie in the dystopian future. They're still making a Barry Levinson mob movie.
Story about two men of great ambition.
We're not living in the past, We're not living in the present, we're living in the future.
This stupid thing.
All you want is attention, 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 attention.
This distraction machine.
The present was 15 years ago. This is just a dystopian nightmare of the future that we're in right now.
YouTube is the new TV.
Great television, I will say that. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Or I won't shoot a conservative speaker in the fucking neck!
We're in the early stages of a civil conflict.
Right-wing this is our land, you bitch.
In other words, you condone that stuff.
You're the type of person who pushes people away from the left.
Anna Kasparian, now she wants to make that face of Destiny. Ew, Destiny.
Don't make things up, you disgusting prick.
Now she wants to be on the right wing.
We have disagreements on politics.
It's a little bit too late for that, girlfriend. Sorry.
The need for politics to be entertainment.
That's what politics is. Never letting a crisis, such as this one or any other, go to waste. The death of cinema altogether?
This generation watch a movie. They watch the movie and they're on the phone.
You can pull out your phone and you have infinity right there.
2025 Alto Knights. Bro, cinema is dead. Everyone's watching, quote unquote.
Broy podcasters.
The incident that took place in...
And then you've got De Niro, who's now just seen as the old woke German guy.
Robert De Niro isn't Italian.
He's not Italian, he's German.
Who's still doing establishment media.
And Nick Pileggi wrote it, and Barry Levinson's going to direct it.
Like, of course, this movie was just doomed. Hey, jerk-offs, I don't know about that fictitious Samuel Gravano guy.
We need Trump. He's a gangster.
But I'm the real-life Sally Boy, the Buffalo Giannini. The Alto Knights is baloney because Robert De Niro's said Trump is a poo-poo head.
He's a poo-poo head.
Fuck him.
Okay, well, you know, this is cable.
Sorry. I'm on MobTube now, but they are making my movie. And it's not gonna be those old guys. It's gonna be that young man.
I feel so fortunate to get to spend time with him.
You know who that was? Clint Eastwood.
As you can see, we're putting America first.
America.
I'm like a Reagan guy.
I'm like a Reagan guy.
I'm a true blue red Republican conservative.
I'm a conservative Republican.
And that's why pro-America mob guys loved Reagan back in the 80s.
Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America.
But Reagan screwed up a lot. Because of what Ronald Reagan did, at the 1986 amnesty, California is now effectively a permanently blue state.
This is our land, you bitch.
Join my exclusive Patreon right now and find out what life as a wise guy was like in Bensonhurst.
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 A neighborhood that to this day is all exclusively Italian.
There's a lot of punks in the neighborhood who carry golf clubs in their cars, bats.
I live here more than 35 years.
There's a V in the word, it's 5.
We should treat equally.
The whole neighborhood of Bensonhurst.
This is all America First official merchandise. Made in China.
We should treat equally.
Sally.
What's that, doll?
Is Paul Feedy Jr. a rat?
Go to Patreon. These real jerk-offs. You know who I am? Mario the Millennial Barbarino. Forget about that De Niro and his Alto Knights. He's an old German sauerkraut-eating jerk-off.
Ich bedanke mich sehr für...
I'm so young in this genre, I was 19 going on 20. Over 20 years ago. I used to rob wise guys and fuck their gumas in the ass.
Right in the fucking ass.
Fucking in the ass.
And spend that dough on Cristal in the club in the 2000s.
You spend $1,000 a night on champagne?
On my show, you'll see not what it was like growing up Gotti. Not what it was like growing up Soprano.
Growing up Soprano? It's just plain weird.
But what it was like growing up Barbarino. In the roughest neighborhood in the whole world, Howard Beach, Queens.
From Howard Beach. I'm from Howard Beach.
Prepare for the pain, kid.
Prepare for the pain, kid.
Jigger,
Jigger, Hova,
They're gonna get Timothy Chalamet to play me.
I'm inspired by the greats.
And in exchange, I get to fuck his broad.
Kylie thinks Timothy is so great with her kids.
And you'll never guess in which hole. You are all jerk-offs. I always win, and you always lose. In terms of a De Niro working with Levinson, it seems to me De Niro is assuming Levinson is like Scorsese light, whilst presumably dominating Levinson in ways he couldn't with Scorsese.
Yeah.
Again, that just adds to it.
The film on a whole didn't work.
He failed. It was stupid.
People have lost faith in De Niro for years.
Nobody likes him right now.
I used to have a De Niro poster behind me years ago.
Say that again.
With Alto Knights, you know it's probably going to suck, but there's still that side of your brain that thinks, but maybe it won't.
He failed. It was stupid.
He's playing an Italian mafia in a mafia movie, not an Irishman, not a Jew like in Casino.
You Jew mother.
Oh, maybe this would be the final return to form. It's like, no, his form died 35, 25, whatever it was, 25 years ago.
When you're a jet, you're a... There you go.
Make me look like some kind of motorivap.
There was no faith in this movie. They kept rescheduling the release dates. The other thing, elephant in the room I can't ignore, is the Trump beef.
The guy is a total monster.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Robert De Niro, a very low IQ individual.
Fuck Trump.
Again, De Niro now is seen as the old woke dude,
He was a clown in New York.
whereas his fans historically would have been macho types.
Clean up, go home. Clean up, go home.
Trump, on the other hand, and I'm just saying this from an apolitical point of view, Trump is the macho president.
What if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
Well, what if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
Trump is the guy who went on, quote unquote,
Broy podcasters.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Right. De Niro stuck to establishment media.
The mafia movie starring Robert De Niro twice.
And done dog shit promotion for the Alto Knights.
That's my shortcoming, I don't know.
In the meantime, the Trump saga of 2025 just exploded.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Donald Trump! You can suck my left nut! This is our city! And this was Mexico!
So, this whole De Niro-Trump beef and trying to use Frank Costello versus Vito Genovese, the violent mob boss versus the genteel mob boss, as an allegory for Biden versus Trump, they should have released the movie a year ago.
He's a sociopathic, psychopathic, malignant narcissist. What they're paranoid about are exactly the things that they do.
Every single solitary person
Kind of said some negative things about Trump supporters.
They bought into his bullshit.
So do I think that hurt him at the box office? Yeah, I do.
You say that again, Chuck.
They took so long to release the movie that analogy is just completely dead. It's finished.
It's over.
On top of that, you've got Joey Molino, the ex-Philadelphia mob boss.
$500,000.
$500,000, I'll kill myself.
Bad-mouthing the shit out of De Niro.
I went to dinner with that motherfucker. He's a drunk fucking mess.
I've been hung with De Niro for a while there.
So he's the credible guy on MobTube, and he's shitting on De Niro.
He's a fucking drunk.
Exaggerating, saying, oh, he was a mess.
Food was all over the table.
Listen, they had fucking Russian dressing all over his hands.
There was Russian dressing and mayonnaise coming out of his nostrils.
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise.
You went to dinner with him like you said he was a drunk, and now he's all over the news talking about Trump.
Bumped into him come out of a restaurant, never stops talking about him.
So anyone who still follows this mob genre of sorts is seeing De Niro's heavily reduced credibility in this genre.
De Niro, I hate that motherfucker.
Even though for me, I could care less what Joey Molino says, because De Niro is one of the greatest actors of all time. That's a fact.
Talking to me?
De Niro, I like to slap. Don't make me a bad guy, does it?
What's with that stupid grin? Life's been good to me.
But in terms of a younger audience, like I say, like, he's just seen as the woke dude who's not on Broy podcasts.
You're going to get 30 years, or whatever the fuck you're going to get in jail, and then you changed.
Interesting.
Here's the thing with De Niro, though. De Niro has been a conflicted dude from the start.
You're a fucking bastard.
Interesting.
He grew up in Greenwich Village, but Bohemian Greenwich Village, not Vincent the Chin Gigante Greenwich Village, to a Bohemian dad who later came out of the closet as LGBTQ. Yeah.
My father felt he was different, and he was different, not only as an artist, for other reasons.
But then De Niro at the same time was hanging out in Little Italy with street Italian dudes because he was that middle class kid who was lost, didn't know who he was, and wanted to always be a street guy.
I fuck you right where you breathe.
When I was a teenager, I just just hung out there. Artists are always recognized after they're long gone.
You might be looking at De Niro in recent years like, but he was a tough guy in the 90s with Heat.
My daughter gave it to me for
I don't give a shit who gave it to you. Take it off.
And now he's so woke. I don't get it. No, dude, he's always been conflicted. His dad was a bohemian LGBTQ+ dude. De Niro always fantasized about being a tough guy, but he was artistically inclined naturally. So he ends up playing tough guys that he idolized growing up.
Fuck you and your family.
But he always is that bohemian Greenwich Village dude. And again, not South Village, Italian, Pope of Greenwich Village, Italian dude.
What are you talking about?
The summer wind.
Bohemian, arty-farty Greenwich Village dude. Like, he's a liberal. What I'm saying is he's now seen as the liberal New York elite, but he's always kind of been that way inclined.
I'm sure he'll make a good president. I don't know exactly what his policies are.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I'll vote for Biden, and we'll be back to normalcy.
Eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with.
You don't know who I am, do you?
I don't. I'm sorry.
He's saying the Framis intersects with the Ramistan approximately at the Paternoster.
Of course, on top of that, he gave up years ago on the art and the craft of movies, and he just went for commerce. De Niro's been making movies for years now, shitty movies, just to play alimony to his black ex-wife. And his new kids, his older kids, and his grandkids, he's got fucking mouths to feed.
I got fucking mouths to feed.
Back to De Niro in this film, the acting is not bad.
That's what I know.
That's what you know. Well, you don't know nothing.
But he looks fucked with the prosthetics.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Last thing on De Niro, what I've been saying about him for years, he gave up trying to do accents. He's playing Vito Genovese, who grew up in Italy, came to New York at 15. Genovese had a hybrid Italian accent, trying to do a New York Italian-American accent. He's like, I decline to answer, is fantastic.
Sides are fantastic and ridiculous. That's what they are. I respectfully decline to answer.
De Niro just does his same Brooklyn, Manhattan, Italian-American third-generation voice.
He's worried his immigrant father's going to make him look like some kind of Goomba. Well, you don't know nothing.
Casino, classic movie, no attempt at a Chicago accent.
Thank you very much for not calling me a liar.
Thanks for not calling me a liar.
Good evening, everyone.
You son of a...
This movie, Vito Genovese, no attempt at a kind of Italian undertone.
Sir, have you ever been connected with the mafia at any time?
Never.
Well, you don't know nothing.
In terms of the backstory, I'll just start by saying this. Vito Genovese, boss of the Genovese family, I was always unsure what neighborhood he's from. He grew up in Naples. He moved at 15 in about 1912 to New York, but not to the slums of Manhattan, to Queens. I think based on research around Ozone Park somewhere, but before it was the Little Italy in the John Gotti era.
We had our radio on.
When it was mostly Germans and Irish moving out of Brooklyn because of Italians moving into Brooklyn. His family moved there, but as a street kid, that area was too square for him. He wanted the action, and he gravitated towards, I think based on research, relatives in the Italian ghetto at that time of Greenwich Village.
Genovese grew up in the slums of New York.
Most despicable gangster ever to run the streets of the city.
Such was his reputation that Genovese was known as Don Vito.
You knew just from looking into his eyes that he could destroy you.
So that's his story. And then he became the biggest criminal to ever come out of Greenwich Village.
And he wanted to take over the family.
He's even mentioned in the book of Once Upon a Time in America, they refer to him as like the guy from the slum of South Village or whatever. So that's him. Frank Costello, born in 1891 in Calabria.
Francesco was the youngest of Luigi and Maria Castiglia's 6 children.
Moves to East Harlem in Upper Manhattan as a young kid.
He was always trying to escape that East Harlem ghetto.
Costello is almost a generation older than the whole Capone, Lucky Luciano, Genovese, Meyer Lansky, Siegel, Albert Anastasia generation. He'd been a street dude in the 1910s before Prohibition, so he was already seasoned when Prohibition started.
He was a very sullen, tough kid.
So that was his real crux of success, that he had maybe almost a decade on these other guys.
He would make his way through life by his brains, not by a gun.
And he was born in Italy but came to America very young. So he understood the streets of New York, he understood the dynamic.
He always viewed himself as a businessman, not as a gangster.
I'll just say this as a side note, because this is MobFlix Friday and I have to add this point. Once Upon a Time in America, the book actually mentions Frank Costello, the gentlemanly gangster from East Harlem.
You came over to the United States under the name of Francesco Castiglia, did you not?
The character played by Joe Pesci, Frankie Minaldi.
My friends and people I respect to call me Frankie.
That's actually supposed to be Frank Costello in the book.
Frankie Minaldi is as big as they come.
I viewed him as a gangster.
In Alto Knights, when they say, oh, Frank Costello and Vito Genovese were boyhood buddies.
You grew up together. You were kids together.
I know that's false, but if you have a good narrative, that would work. There's no problem with that. It's just they've gone for this fake mockumentary feel.
Now a bunch of uneducated, juvenile, delinquent immigrants.
If you had have made a proper movie narrative, that would have worked. In this, it doesn't. Look, in Barry Levinson's Bugsy, for example.
Hey, Bugsy.
You've got LA boss Jack Dragna. Born in Sicily, also from East Harlem, moved to LA, became the boss of the Mickey Mouse rackets. But the point was, Jack Dragna was the boss of Los Angeles. They call it Mickey Mouse because it's not on the same scale as Chicago and New York. Not because he's such a bum, but in the film...
You stole from me! What is it? Are you afraid to die? Crawl!
That never happened in real life. Bugsy would have been murdered on the spot if he had have done that. The point is that works for the movie to make the movie point of the Mickey Mouse Mafia. So I don't mind taking artistic license with the truth for a good film.
Got a city here with 3 million people in it, and he runs an operation that's nice and little.
But in this, it's mockumentary style, and they say Frank and Vito grew up in the streets together. Oh, they did not, and you didn't do anything to convince me otherwise.
You were kids together.
No.
Even mobsters, which is ridiculous. You have Anglo-American Christian Slater playing Sicilian Lucky Luciano.
Because I'm a greasy immigrant, all I can do is clean fish?
No.
But even mobsters is better than Alto Knights.
When you hit people on our turf, it upsets the cops. No.
I love that film.
Unions and all that dog shit, horse shit, big shit.
And now on the point of Lucky Luciano.
The boss of bosses.
Check this out. The real story of Alto Knights, that all centers around the story of Lucky Luciano.
He was exiled to Italy, but even there he was still the boss of the American underworld.
Vito Genovese was his underboss. Frank Costello was his consigliere, his counselor, his advisor role.
Not the Charlie Luciano,
Meyer Lansky was Luciano's top non-Italian advisor, and Bugsy Siegel was Lansky's number 2 man.
Luciano would be the first among equals.
Vito considered himself to be the heir apparent.
The bumping of the heads between Frank Costello and Vito Genovese.
All this beef between Costello and Genovese stems from the fact that Lucky Luciano, the real boss, was deported back to Italy.
Genovese was intimidated by Costello's intelligence.
They tried to do the same to Costello, deporting back to Italy in the 60s. The movie doesn't focus on that much.
Feel about this deportation thing going back to Italy? Would you rather remain in the country now? Sure, I will.
That's the key crux of this story, is actually Lucky Luciano. There's no mention of Luciano other than referencing with photos.
But when Lucky got into politics, everything changed.
However, they had cast someone, Amadeo Fusco or something. They actually casted an actor to play Luciano. They cut all his scenes out and just showed photos of Luciano.
Amadeo Fusca as Charlie Luciano.
No.
Amadeo Fusca as Charlie Luciano.
No.
Genovese's story is fascinating. He goes to Italy, starts working with Mussolini.
Genovese cottoned up to Benito Mussolini by providing money, providing donations.
At a time when Mussolini was killing all the local mafia and Camorra guys in Italy, but working with Genovese because he's, I guess, comes from the States. Here's what's fascinating, what the movie did touch on, the Anna Genovese story.
He became interested in his 22-year-old cousin, Anna Patillo Vernatico.
Well, you should come by one night.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Vito Genovese, who was a very romantic guy, and he was in pursuit of a woman.
The real life story is fascinating in that Anna Genovese was a second-generation Neapolitan immigrant from Greenwich Village who then became some kind of gay nightclub manager.
Her life was a story of power, defiance, and survival.
And she was bisexual herself, and on the one hand, she comes from this Italian peasant immigrant Catholic background in South Village. Then at the same time, she's running like gay nightclubs in the bougie part of Greenwich Village.
From Greenwich Village to
Queen of Queens.
That is very fascinating.
He's marrying himself.
She's smart, she's sexy, she's Italian.
That should have been like the amour faux sexy relationship.
Amour fou.
No fall or whatever.
Crazy love, all consuming.
Don't you fucking Tony me.
The arrangement is over!
No kidding! No kidding!
But again, it's just rushed.
My name is Vito. That don't look right.
come on.
And I'll take what comes to me.
For your what? You fucking whores? Took over my business.
The repercussions of Anna mentioning my association with Vito.
You've got an aging Katherine Narducci from The Sopranos.
What are you gonna do, divorce me?
This marriage is over, Arthur. Look what you've done to my husband. All your money to the whores.
Full of Botox, settling down with an 80-year-old De Niro.
I'm 80.
Katherine Narducci is probably the logical person to play that character. But at this point, she just reminds me of Rene Graziano.
Who's got a podcast? Franchise, the one that I just had a fight with all over social media.
You went on a show called Mob Wives. You disgraced your name.
Please. Do podcasts.
Behind you, I have 50,000 other DMs.
Broy podcasters.
Like, hey, DM,
DM this person.
They could blame mob wives all they want.
And on a side note, in retrospect, growing up Gotti was much better than Mob Wives.
Shut your mouth.
Knock this kid out.
Open the door.
Say that again.
Many times I cheated on him. I had other boyfriends. You my boyfriend when you were with Lee.
See if you can figure out the difference.
But back to Narducci, she doesn't have the same sex appeal at this age to make it look good.
You get your hands on everything.
And I called my ex-husband a rat fucking stool pigeon, which he is.
Everything.
If anything, the chick from Jersey Boys.
Mary Delgado, this is Frankie Valli.
You're Italian. You gotta end in a vowel. Come here.
But that's 10 years ago now. Still had that sexuality, but as an Italian-American chick. From the sexuality side, her.
This is who I am. You don't like it, you can go fuck yourself.
In terms of believability, I would have said a younger Annabella Sciorra.
If I wanted revenge, Ray, I'd let you kill the son of a bitch and wait for you to burn in hell for it.
I think her parents were from Italy. She's got that daughter of Italian immigrants aura about her.
Their heartless, illiterate upbringing.
Whereas Katherine Narducci just feels super New York.
You're a clown.
She feels third or fourth generation. She doesn't feel like, yeah, she's, her parents are from Italy and she's in between two worlds.
An unyielding desire to carve out her own destiny in a world dominated by men.
I never knew that Vito Genovese, such a psycho tough guy.
And he frightened the shit out of him. I mean, he caused me.
You'd think he'd just marry some quiet, humble housewife peasant type.
Facciamo le mani, Don Ciccio.
Not this sexually liberated, a beacon of transient, fluid sexuality.
This movie's really making me hot.
You get your hands on everything.
I didn't know this shit about Vito Genovese until I saw this film. But the movie just does a massive disservice to that actual potential storyline.
And there's nothing, absolutely nothing romantic about it.
He was a very romantic guy.
Dirty little whores, that's where they go.
Every other word was F
You fucking whores?
or MF.
Motherfucker that he is.
I mean, it was incredible.
This was Katherine Narducci on steroids.
You get your hands on everything.
The parts of the movie depicting Appalachian and Albert Anastasia and stuff, I'm like...
What are you talking about?
The guy who played Albert Anastasia, Michael Rispoli...
Nobody's made a move on a boss until last week.
I just dismissed him as another ex-Sopranos guy.
Who's Sopranos?
When actually he's the blonde guy from Above the Rim.
Think you got everybody figured and then, like that?
His acting was actually good.
You make a move on a boss, it's an open contract. And every one of you know it.
But optically, he just didn't look like it at all. When I saw pictures of the real Albert Anastasia, the way he looked with that curly hair and stuff, I'm like, only Frank Vincent, who played Billy Bats.
Say, come on!
The way he looked in Raging Bull, that's the only guy to me who should have played Albert Anastasia. Based on years ago, obviously Frank Vincent's dead.
Not to me.
I'm gonna wind up in the middle of this thing.
Decent acting, but everyone's old. Nobody really looks good. It felt like a cheap movie.
Any of coffee for anyone?
Appalachian, the actual meeting itself was just rushed.
It was before Appalachian.
The men meeting here at Appalachian in 1957 were in fact the leaders of the mafia in America.
The 57 meeting was about how we're going to divide this country.
Those ducks over here, so
You can't be late. Thank God we were late, Frank. That's it.
If this was a TV miniseries stretched out to 3 hours or something like that, there would have been a lot more space and breathing room.
Vincent the Chin pointing straight at Costello.
One's for you, Frank.
This is for you, Frank, and fires.
Had he not said that, he probably would have killed Costello clean away.
Learn how to shoot straight, you dumb fuck!
Vinny, did you give yourself up because you were afraid?
No, you're crazy.
Vincent the Chin Gigante.
Believe me, we tried to get the chin.
Yeah, so in terms of the chin, this is a big one.
That's how they started the whole fucking religion.
Vincenzo was the son of Italian immigrants settled in Greenwich Village and had never learned English.
Vincent Gigante was a club fighter in the mid-40s.
He was Vito Genovese's bodyguard and chauffeur.
Was seen as a bit of a goof in terms of botching that hit, but then went on in the 80s to become the biggest crime boss in New York and the real crime boss.
He was a smart guy.
When it seems like John Gotti was like the media showman crime boss.
He's a Mormon.
The Chin was the real kind of low-key powerhouse behind the scenes who was pretending to be crazy.
Gigante continued to roam the streets of Greenwich Village, looking more like a mental patient than the head of a large criminal empire.
The point is with the Chin, he's significant in two major eras. He was a protege to the Al Capone old-time generation guys.
He was Vito Genovese's bodyguard and chauffeur.
And then in the 80s and early 90s, well, 80s and 90s actually.
Everybody, John Gotti this and John Gotti that.
Gotti made the big time.
The Chin was the most underrated godfather of the second half of the 20th century.
He's a massive powerhouse.
He was extremely smart.
He blew up one of Gotti's main guys. There was like a proxy war.
A bomb under the front seat exploded.
He would delegate 10 times removed.
Vincent the Chin Gigante is such an enigmatic, fascinating character.
He insulated himself so well.
But in this...
Yeah, sure, but I'm outside.
They botched his depiction in this film. Like in real life, he botched the hit on Frank Costello. This was just... Oh my God. They just depicted him as a goof.
He was 2 feet away. The fucking bullet bounced off his head.
They depicted the man as a goof.
I thought he was dead.
He's not dead.
They make him look like he's this mama's boy.
Where get your information from?
Matom.
Balding guy, pushing 30, still living with his mum, but wants to be a tough guy, wants to have a reputation. Barry Levinson has made Vincent Gigante look like a goof.
Keep your mouth shut.
Because I think he's always had a fixation in... I think Levinson is interested in a second generation guy who's not his own man, who's a bit of a fuck up, but that ain't Gigante.
Bruno, that's his son.
Shit. I'm not as good as Pop, right?
Knock it off, guys.
I just talked to the family. You're out.
The Chin was like the neighborhood rock star. Like everybody was in awe of him.
That's John Gotti Jr.
Just because of his father, he was put in that position.
Why have they got Gigante in this film with a very prominent bald patch when he never had it?
I can't believe I'm losing my hair back here.
That's John Gotti Jr.
Always was a punk in the dog. He was a junkie.
He looked like Elvis Presley.
Even his daughter told him he looked like Elvis Presley.
He loved Elvis Presley.
He's not man enough to be his own man, so he has to be a lackey for Genovese.
I'll get the door for you.
Who fucked up the only thing he ever had to do in his whole fucking life?
But that's not true.
Anybody who misses normally,
One fucking bullet, you fucking miss.
they're dead the next day. Vito loved him.
He was Genovese's golden boy, the protege of Genovese who could actually get stuff done in real life.
Vito loved him.
The guy who actually scolded the Chin for botching the hit on Costello
Who else?
wasn't Genovese, but Charles Chalutz Gagliardotto.
Chalutz is the major mob guy on Elizabeth Street.
Denounced Gigante in front of a room full of people.
Vito loved him.
He lived with his mum in a fucking tenement building in Greenwich Village because his mum was a widow. The dad died. That suited the Chin because he's based in Greenwich Village anyway.
He lived with his mother on the west side.
West side's the village.
This feels like Levinson wants to depict the Chin the way he wanted to depict Gotti Jr. but never could because Gotti Jr. wouldn't allow that type of unflattering depiction. That's how I read this. What the fuck are you doing giving him such a bold patch like that when he never had it? You're just trying to make him look like a dopey schlub, kind of a 28-year-old guy going on 50.
Yeah, sure, but I'm outside.
Come again?
I'm outside.
I really wanted a good depiction of him in this. The other recent depiction of him, not in film but in TV, is The Godfather of Harlem, where his daughter's dating this kind of doo-wop era soul brother black dude.
I see you talking to this Negro.
We need to get out of here.
And it's a whole kind of jungle fever.
She's white.
Interracial relationship, forbidden love, and Vincent Gigante's furious that his daughter's dating a black guy.
Kill him. Fast.
But I'm like, in real life, his daughter Rita Gigante
In Greenwich Village with my dad.
is this kind of now on YouTube
Began my work as a psychic medium.
who believes in telepathy and speaking to people from other dimensions, but mainly she's lesbian.
I was afraid for my soul because I was gay.
She puts the L in LGBTQ, and she's much younger. What do you mean in like 1963 she's dating the doo-wop singer? She's born around that time.
I came into this world.
And she believes in telepathically speaking to the dead.
Began my work as a psychic medium. He felt like, well, he's saying to me now, he says,
And she believes in intergalactic, interdimensional, cosmic-y, galaxy-y, intercollective.
Our souls are getting intertwined into a connectional soul.
He was afraid for my soul because I was gay.
Interconnectional galaxy
Connection. Rita Gigante, when she opens the fridge, she sees Zool. Zool.
Because I'm an empath. Most people don't know what an empath is. What an empath is someone who could feel everybody's shit.
Self-declared, self-styled, and self-imputed empaths.
She believes in all that stuff.
Let me hallucinate and all kinds of things.
The only daughter that we know of that's in the public eye.
I didn't like her energy.
Goes on MobTube interviews.
Your father, as we know, the Genovese family.
They want to hear mafia stories. Yeah, my dad killed this guy. And then she starts saying, no, I spoke to him. He's dead, but I spoke to him in another dimension last night. And they're like, what?
A man of very few words with me, anyway. But when he got into spirit, it's like I couldn't shut him up. He would talk constantly to me. Well, he's saying to me now, he says it began my work as a psychic medium.
You forget I'm a telepath.
Like when you say psychic medium.
Humans no longer own each other that way, Mother.
When you go on broy podcasts, they want the juicy stuff, not this weirdo intergalactic stuff.
I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity.
I could feel if somebody's depressed. I could feel if they're angry. I could feel if they're enraged.
So, point being, the chin was a big factor in the olden days and in modern times. But the only representation of the chin in modern times
Kill him.
is the Godfather of Harlem with this fabricated storyline, or his daughter Rita with her interconnectional talk.
Her interconnectional.
That put more pressure on this film. Can we get a good chin depiction? And we just get this weird kind of...
Yeah, sure, but I'm stuck.
He's a mama's boy loser with a massive bald spot. It's like, no, John Gotti Jr. is the guy that had a bold spot.
You're the new boss of the Gambino crime family.
Barry Levinson's done this before in Donnie Brasco, making Bruno have a Bee Gees haircut and his hairline's all falling off.
Bruno was a wild guy.
Alto Knights. It's the only movie that put Gigante in a cinematic film.
Noise, it's a fucking gun.
What they did do,
Vito left Vincent in charge.
the only wink and nod to the Gotti movie that could have been,
After watching this movie,
with Barry Levinson, was that one bit at the end where Frank Costello, De Niro, is talking about what happened, and he's saying, oh yeah, the mob fell apart so much that they had to get Vincent to dress up in a bathrobe and pretend to be crazy. That's how much it fell apart.
Then the poor guy had to walk around in a bathrobe pretending to be nuts.
No, you were already dead when that happened, so I don't know what they're doing there.
That stupid bathrobe act worked for about 10 years.
For more than 2 decades, Vincent Chin Gigante avoided prosecution by pretending to be insane.
Then he just died in prison.
Costello died decades before Gigante died in prison. Gigante didn't become boss because the mafia was falling to pieces.
Believe me, we tried to get the chin.
It's all over. Vito left Vincent in charge.
He was a smart guy.
John Gotti Jr. became the boss at a time when the mafia was falling to pieces.
John Gotti, life in prison.
Just because of his father, he was put in that position.
Time to go their mothers.
Gigante had been prepped for that role for years.
Vito dies in jail. My father comes out, and slowly he becomes who he is.
When bloody Lombardo was the boss, when Funzi Thierry was the boss, when Fat Tony Salerno was the boss.
Say, Tony.
They tried to confuse the government and the newspapers. Who's the boss?
Discussions between Thierry, Fat Tony Salerno, the family's consigliere, and Vincent Gigante.
Gigante had been groomed for the spot of boss for decades before he became a media spectacle wearing the bathrobe.
Gigante's living in his mother's apartment in Greenwich Village.
Now that it's all said and done, you could say Alto Knights should have been a mini TV series or a longer TV movie, but not this weird thing where you try and put it at the cinema but you have no faith in it whatsoever. They had no faith in their younger actors. There were younger actors in this, but then they just cut them out or they just had them photoshopped or very, very snippets of scenes.
Nobody was gonna catch me.
We made the most of it.
No.
Whereas in Sleepers, a good portion of the film had younger actors playing the younger incarnations of the characters.
The future lay sparkling ahead.
So Levinson on his day can definitely do that.
He's just a kid. I'm scared to face it. With great talent.
Now that it's all said and done, Barry Levinson, rather than being executive producer and analyze that in 2002, do a legit movie back then.
Why would you say?
Could have maybe done a mob film with De Niro back then, set in Greenwich Village, maybe use the set from Eyes Wide Shut. that Kubrick had made to rebuild Greenwich Village and actually do something back then.
Mommy's mad at me because I made a boom on a rug.
But the problem is in 2002, De Niro got fed up with mob movies. He'd done a comedy, analysed that as a pay thing.
That was fun, yeah.
Analyze that free. Hey, listen, let's see how this one does. We know, hopefully it'll do well.
No.
His one last hurrah again was The Irishman.
It's what it is.
It wasn't just about De Niro getting paid. It was about really doing a proper project.
Very simple when you say it that way.
Aside from that, De Niro's just a money guy now.
There you go.
For me, the best case scenario with this whole Levinson thing was he would have made a movie with John Gotti Jr.
After watching this movie,
and it would have been good, not great, and an ex-NYPD detective, Joe Coffey, would have come along and poo-pooed the hell out of it just to antagonize John Gotti Jr.
Junior Gotti, who's really a Neanderthal. I mean, he was never an entity at all.
Joe Coffey? Dressed like a gangster. He thought he was a gangster, but he hated Italians for some reason.
And they could have had an early mob tube feud.
Joe Coffey, he wants you to give him a beating.
That would have been my ultimate thing with Barry Levinson's last mob picture.
John Jr., the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Because Junior Gotti was forced to disown the Travolta Gotti movie.
Gotti with John Travolta, don't even bother with that.
it didn't work.
If his Levinson one went through and it was even remotely decent, he'd be promoting and praising it to the high heavens.
After watching this movie,
Even if it got a 6.5 out of 10, you see, it's the best movie in the universe.
you like the way that word sounds? La Cosa Nostra, how it flows on your tongue?
He'd be promoting the shit out of it as the best movie of all time. And someone like Joe Coffey loves to besmirch New York wise guys.
His vernacular would be beautiful.
The guy had the vocabulary of a sailor. No imagination at all.
And yeah, fucking business.
He's a moron.
He had a 140 IQ.
He hasn't got the IQ of a marble.
Some of that IQ passed over to you.
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. I think collectively they had the IQ of an ashtray.
Coffey passed away in 2017-18.
Big Joe was larger than life. He had a 140 IQ.
If he lived a little bit longer and John Gotti Jr. was more confident to go on YouTube, that would have been a nice little early mob tube beef.
Joe Coffey? He carries a gun about this big.
The other thing now, the way Levinson tried to tie up Alto Knights as the end of the mob.
Today, except some drips and drabs, it's all over.
And the Appalachian meeting in 57 was the signifier of the end. I'm like, well, hold on, but I thought in the 60s, there's conspiracy theories that the mob was involved in the assassination of President JFK.
If they can whack a president,
President Kennedy has been shot.
they can whack a president reunion. It's all over.
In the 70s, the mob pulled off the perfect hit in terms of a high-profile target like Union leader Jimmy Hoffa.
Bugsy Siegel may have created Las Vegas, but the man who really built the town was Jimmy Hoffa.
They can whack a president reunion.
What do you mean it was the end in 1957?
It's all over.
Executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra.
You like the way that word sounds? La Cosa Nostra.
Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
It's all over.
All these big historical events, 60s, 70s, 80s.
A Godfather Roundup.
But no, the end came when Costello done a Machiavellian move and fixed Appalachian. Like what? This is essentially Levinson copy and pasting what he was hoping to do with the potential Gotti picture in terms of the end of the mob being some form of analogy for America changing. But again, as we can probably figure out, working with Junior Gotti was way too suffocating for somebody like Barry Levinson.
It didn't work.
Who's not a massive ego guy. He's just as happy winning an Oscar as he is being in the background just writing for TV.
Thank you.
Really, if Levinson's going to do one last mob picture about the end of the mob, he should have just done a Gotti versus Gigante picture in the 80s, going into the early 90s.
One man was killed. He was 58-year-old Frank DeCicco.
Nobody knows who killed Frank DeCicco. Gigante is actually one of the most powerful mafia captains in the country.
You could have had, fictional or otherwise, a scene where Gigante, who goes back to Vito Genovese, has to have a meeting with Junior Gotti, and he's looking at him like, that's the boss I got to sit down with.
As the old saying goes, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Come again?
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good...
Stop.
In terms of a real Frank Costello movie being done any type of justice, it should have been made by Michael Cimino, and it should have been made in the mid-late 70s. If we're being honest about it.
If you want your rules.
If you want your big, epic, high-budget movie biopic, that's when it should have been made. Even by the 80s, the studio machine is funding Back to the Future and Ghostbusters.
I heard a voice say Zool.
Not films about a depressed cab driver.
Why won't you talk to the studios that had enough of these self-indulgent auteurs?
Again, Alto Knights is 50 years too late if you want to make a movie about a guy who was born in the Victorian age and lived to the 70s. This is a wannabe Scorsese movie minus Scorsese.
The Alto Knights is right there, right?
Right there. And again, De Niro's doing a second Last Mob movie, knowing Scorsese wouldn't touch it with an iron pole, and thus he's farming it out to Levinson as an 80-year-old caretaker director.
The mafia empire has to come to an end.
And Levinson isn't able in this movie to bring any of his own personal Levinson touch to the film.
Mussolini and Hitler have to be stopped. They're trying to knock off every Jew on earth.
If you want to show a movie about the passing of the torch from the early 20th century Prohibition generation,
Don't ever repeat what you just said to me,
to Levinson's very own Flower generation,
some of the young people of the Flower generation will be the future leaders of the country.
You say that again, Chuck.
I think expects him to be very sharp or quick.
With the COVID,
this is not that at all. If anything, in Levinson's Liberty Heights, Levinson depicts his beloved Flower generation coming of age in Jewish Baltimore whilst having an older uncle who's an old school Prohibition era racketeer.
You can't find a colored person who wants to play cricket on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Kish mine took us stuff.
Who's also having to come to terms with changing times.
They integrate the golf course in 51 and schools in 54. Where's the priorities?
Coming into the civil rights movement. That's where Levinson can bring his own personal experiences and his own personal touch to bring the movie to life and make the movie feel a bit more real. Whereas in this, there's just like one reference to Little Richard. Can you believe this is number one? Times are changing. Back to the Bland Mob movie.
Times are changing.
It's a different time now.
There's nothing in a Frank Costello movie that can really have Levinson show the passing of the torch to the Flower generation.
I bought liquor and stole it, but I didn't.
I'm going to control the flower market of the world, and with it, the entire flower generation. Flower children, flowers.
But again, in this, he's just the caretaker. De Niro seems to presumably be dominating on this one, in ways he couldn't with Scorsese.
The Alto Knights is right there, right?
Right there. Whereas in Rain Man, Barry Levinson managed and directed Tom Cruise in arguably Cruise's definitive performance.
You are beautiful, man.
It's okay.
5 seconds before Cruise becomes this Hollywood megastar, telling his agent, give me that ginger Australian chick from Dead Calm as my co-star because I want to hook up with her.
Isn't this what you're really looking for?
And Levinson's directing him to do real acting. Literally a year later, he's just doing a bunch of megastar prima donna shit. Give me the ginger chick from Dead Calm, the movie where the music goes. Coming to a close now, did De Niro's politics hurt him on this movie? Yes and no.
If he wins the election.
If this was good, it wouldn't really matter what his political opinions are. Biden's the best, Kamala Harris is the best, Zohan Mamdani's the greatest. It wouldn't matter.
Both characters.
Both characters, because he wanted to show how great of an actor he is.
The film on a whole didn't work.
However, they released it far too late, and he wanted it to be some good versus evil, Genovese versus Costello as an analogy for Trump versus Biden.
What they're paranoid about are exactly the things that they do. He said everything that he did himself, that he's responsible for, it's all a projection of who he, you know that.
If this was released back in early 2024, before Biden had to step down because he got dementia, fair enough.
With dealing with...
Check this one out. De Niro wants to endorse a political party where one guy who he thinks is Frank Costello has to drop out.
Vote for Biden?
Because he has dementia. And the replacement, a chick who looks like she should be some coordinator on MTV Cribs, she's meant to be the next president. Of course she loses, then she blames of all people Myron Gaines.
Kamala Harris, in her book, stated that Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines are the reason why she didn't win.
Fucking tea and crumpet, dumbass bitch, English breakfast hoe. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
There ain't cats and dogs. These two guys took away the male vote from me.
Anything that unifies Democrats at this point is hatred of Donald Trump, and they would elect a toaster if they had to.
Vote for Biden.
Celebrities do not make a difference
whatsoever on who people vote for.
You say that again, Joe.
Completely lost. But again, let me put it to you like this. Joe Biden is not a reflection of Frank Costello being a great guy.
You did that. You broke the laws and flouted the Constitution, did you not? Well, I didn't follow that, yes.
Person eligible for what I've...
Frank Costello was not a great guy.
He always viewed himself as a businessman. I said, Frank, you're a gangster who wears nice suits.
De Niro's just a kind of, at this point at least, greedy old man.
That's my shortcoming. I don't know.
This notion that, oh, Frank Costello was more racketeer than vicious thug gangster, so he's actually a really good dude who just didn't have the right breaks in life.
He's a corrupter. Corruptors change us. It changes our system of government.
Who desperately wanted to blend into like the kind of old school New York aristocracy.
As a businessman, sometimes bordering on aristocracy.
But lived long enough to the time where that old school Anglo-Protestant ruling class in New York didn't even exist more or less anymore.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you're looking back over the years now to that time when you became a citizen.
White Anglo-Saxon pricks.
By the time he passes in the 70s, it's Jews and Catholics.
Where I came out from Greenwich Village.
We Jews are going to assimilate.
The new aristocracy of New York. And it had been like that for decades. At the end of it all, cinema is a dying medium.
Oh, no one's going to the theater anymore.
Movies are less culturally relevant.
A movie these days can make $1 billion and have virtually no cultural impact.
Podcasts are omnipresent now.
So many rats now, they all have podcasts.
New York does not resemble its old self in the slightest.
Mamdani then free.
Mamdani when they're free?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Turn the volume up.
There's no more communities. There's no more neighborhoods. There's nothing.
Back in the 90s when I was watching mob movies, Bensonhurst was still Italian.
Bensonhurst!
Chin Gigante was still on trial.
Guilty of racketeering in July of 1997.
You still had a lot of remnants of the old New York, when of course, New York was New York.
When New York was New York.
Joe Coffey was detective in charge of organized crime. The place was Hell's Kitchen, ruled by Irish gangsters who took their cues from old Jimmy Cagney movies.
What's bothering you? Feelings is getting hurt. Ain't that a shame?
When New York was New York.
You ready for this next case? I'm always ready.
It just simply seems like, in terms of this movie, Alto Knights even getting made, this old lot managed to pull off one miraculous last favour for old time's sake, which of course flopped at the box office, but De Niro still got paid top dollar for some reason.
That's how it got started.
Make that make sense. So, Barry, if you're watching, you should have made it work with Junior Gotti 10 years prior.
When I started dealing with Hollywood, I had to take 2 showers a day. It's a bad, bad, bad business.
Time to go their mothers.
We're not going to do the whole cigar bit right now, because that's a bit Andrew Tate 2022 wannabe Al Capone.
What's with this Al Capone shit?
You've been watching MobFlix Friday, the hottest show the algorithm will never let you know about.
That's it.
The mafia empire has to come to an end.
Criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Cosa Nostra.
You like the way that word sounds? La Cosa Nostra, how it flows on your tongue?